Good morning, Spruce Society. I apologize for the weird wonky angle here, but I have the sun here, and so I'm trying to be in a unique spot so that it's not blaring on everybody. I'm doing my good day protocol right now. If you have not done this, it is incredible. All right, so I'm going to be talking to you about the Young Living Farm experience. Again, I apologize for the sun. I hope that it moves quickly. So, for those of you that are not familiar with the Young Living Farms, hi Cello, I tried to make a note of this. We have 8 farms in North America, 2 farms in Central America, 6 farms in Asia, 5 farms in Europe, 2 farms in Australia, and 1 farm in Africa. And I know that our farm team is working to potentially add more. Now, remember that Young Living has 3 different ways that we get our oils. We have them through our own farms, our partner farms, and our Seed to Seal. My gosh, I was going to say partner. Yeah, the Seed to Seal partner farms. And so, why is that important? It's important because Young Living owns a certain amount of farms around the world. And then we have partner farms that have partnered with us that have to meet our rigorous Seed to Seal standards. I'm trying to see, yes, so we have partners since, gosh, way back. And where I'm looking at this information, I put it in the description, but you can actually go on to the Our Farms portion of the Young Living website and look at all of the different farms. It's really actually pretty cool. So to become a partner farm, you have to, Young Living has this entire humongous list. And I don't remember who said it or when, but I remember we were spoken to, might have been at a convention, where we were shown all of the different pages and pages of specifics that partner farms have to meet in order to be able to do business with us. And back in 2017 at the convention, Lauren Walker at the time was talking to us about how we had actually gotten a batch of, I think it was 30,000 kilos of peppermint from one of our partner farms. And we did our testing, our rigorous testing, and found that there was a very, very minimal, it was like the drop of, into an Olympic-sized pool minimal amount of material that Young Living does not allow, and because Young Living does not allow anything that is not pure, and we sent it back. And yes, the company lost money, but it was more important for Young Living, it is more important for Young Living to give you the very best products versus making a profit. Of course, their business, for sure, but their standards are so incredibly high that they will send back thousands and thousands of kilos of oil if it doesn't meet their standards. That is how rigorous the testing is. So I say all that because I want to talk a little bit about some of the farms that I have personally had the opportunity to go to. When you reach the level of silver, Young Living will give you an all expenses paid trip to the farm in Mona. And it's incredible. I mean, it is such a beautiful farm. They actually redid the Experience Center last year, and it's gorgeous. But not only that, you get to link arms with leaders and other leaders in the company that are the same rank as you, and talk about your business and share all of your wonderful stories and see the farm and touch the plants, and it's just incredible to be there and when you're there, you really feel and experience the heart of Young Living. If you haven't had a chance to go to a farm, then all of this might seem a little fluffy. And I will admit that if I had not had a chance to go to a farm and I was hearing myself say all of these things about magical farms and how wonderful they are, I might be like, you're a little weird. But I'm telling you that if you haven't had a chance to experience it, I'm going to encourage you right now to do it. So, I'm trying to look at the comments. So that's the rank of silver, and then gold retreat. When you hit the rank of gold, they do the same thing. All expenses paid trip to our farm in Idaho. And I know that they have varied it from year to year, I guess just depending on the availability, but usually it's St. Mary's. So St. Mary's is the original farm, and it actually happens to be one of the smallest farms, if not the smallest Young Living farm. If you're not aware of the story, way back in the day, Gary Young was in France and he smuggled back some lavender in his boot and brought it back to the St. Mary's farm in Idaho. This farm is beautiful, and you can just tell when you go onto the grounds just how much history there is there. But the people, I want to talk a little bit about the people that Young Living employs to run these farms, because they're not always the people that we actually get to hear about. So back in May, myself and about 20-ish other people in my team had the opportunity to go do spring planting. And that was at the Highland Flats farm in Idaho. And then we spent about 4 days there and then drove down to the St. Mary's farm in Idaho. It's about a 3-hour drive. But when you get there, Highland Flats is, it will always hold a special place in my heart. But Highland Flats, the staff that's there, you go there and you can tell how passionate they are about the plants. And we sell the products, right? But when you go and you talk to the people that are running the farm, they're passionate about the plants and the soil and the harvesting aspect of things, the things that are all incredibly important to our products, but we don't necessarily always get to know about them to the level that the people that work there want to tell you. And they are so passionate. They are meticulous. They will stay up to like many hours if there's a distill that needs to happen. I mean, it is like an experience that I've never done before. And we're going back for winter harvest in January, and we get to experience that all over again, just at the Highland Flats farm, not at St. Mary's. But the people at the St. Mary's farm, so we went to Highland Flats and went to St. Mary's. People at St. Mary's farm are just as passionate about Young Living and the plants as Highland Flats. And so I'm going to squirrel a little bit, because this past April, the Diamond Retreat was in Hawaii. And one of the things that they did for us is we went to Maui, and then one of the days we got to go to the partner farm in Kona. So we hopped on a plane, drove, and I did have some people ask me before, because they were like, "Oh, we're going to the Big Island, and we want to be able to go to the Young Living Partner Farm. Can we just drive by it?" Because in Utah, you can drive by and you can see, I mean, there's signs everywhere. The partner farm in Hawaii, and I'm guessing that it's like this in some other parts of the world, is tucked far into the hills. And Young Living partnered with this farm. I'm going to see if I can find how long ago they partnered with them. Because when you go and you listen, 2014, you listen to the story of the people that have owned this farm for, a long time, and how they met Gary Young and how he told them the products that he was wanting, and just how you meet these people and these farmers at the Kona farm, and how you would never know that they were not, that this farm wasn't owned completely by Young Living. It is a partner farm. We partner with them. And it is, why I think that's important to say is that Young Living has relationships with all of these partner farms. It's not just, here, we're gonna sign up on the internet, and yes, you meet our standards, and yes, your products pass our tests, and that's it. No, the farm managers, who Brett Packer is the head of all the farm. He goes to all of these different farms and he meets with them and he talks with the owners and gets his hands dirty and feels what they feel, and they have an incredible relationship. And that's what makes this so special, is that not only are the products the best, but the people that work there are also incredible as well. So I just want to really say that, because I think that a lot of people need to know how wonderful the partner farms are, because I think that, sometimes you can hear people say online, well, Young Living partners with different people and you just don't even know what you're getting, and that is an absolute lie. And I'm telling you that because I've actually been to the farms, I've talked to the partner farm managers, and I've experienced it myself, and so have a lot of other leaders that are in this group. So if you ever have questions at all about the farms, the partner farms, please ask us. We are an open book. There is nothing to hide. Okay, so my very first diamond trip, we went to France. I had no idea what to expect. We flew, Young Living, by the way, it's all expense paid, flew us into the south of France, and we got to explore a little bit there, and then we were on this couple different buses, and you can imagine, like, we were driving from the south of France, and our main destination was Paris, but through that journey, we got to go into the French Alps, which, if you don't love bus rides, and you are in a bus, in a bus full of other oilers that are putting on oils, I mean, it was something. But we stopped a couple different places along the way. And I want to tell you a little bit about one of the places we went. This has nothing to do with a farm, but everything to do with why Gary is the genius that he is. So we got to stop at this sweet, quaint little town that has a parfumery called Fragonard. And Fragonard is really big over in Europe, and I had never experienced anything like this. So Gary took us there and took a tour of this parfumery. And in Europe, their standards, just like their food, on different things are completely different than they are here in the US. So fragrance, we hear fragrance, and hi everybody that's joining. We hear fragrance and we're like, ooh, stay away, stay away. Well, Gary brought us to Fragonard, the parfumery, because when he was learning how to mix the different oils, he learned from so many different people, and I don't remember the gentleman's name that he studied underneath for a small time at Fragonard, but he got to learn the smells. So he got to learn how to do things by smell. And it was really cool because he brought us here, and a lot of us do not use perfumes unless they're ones that we make with Young Living oils. But I purchased a perfume there, and every time I smell it, like now I can only really smell it out of the bottle. It's too strong for me. It brings me right back to that exact moment in that perfumery, and I got to sit and talk with Gary, got a wonderful photo with him, and just he was the real deal, you guys. He legit cares and cared about us and our products, like so much. And I loved being able to experience that, because that's not something that, well, like Wendy just said, she's never heard that story before. Yeah, it's a story that doesn't really ever get told, because well, there's people like me that was there that we just forget. We forget sometimes. And I really don't want that to ever be forgotten. So, and actually, to be honest with you, Melissa Pepping, a lot of you may know her. Melissa Pepping was on that trip, and she, at the beginning of her fragrance book, talks about her trip to Fragnard and how that inspired her to start learning how to mix the different smells together, and to create her beautiful perfume books. So, so there, you may not know that as well. But anyway, on that same trip, we got to go to the Simeon La Rotonde French farm, and it is set in this just beautiful. I mean, picture it, beautiful French countryside, where when you're standing at the farm, and it's not a giant farm, by the way, you're standing at the farm and you see the distillery and the buildings there, and then you look over to your right, and you can just see this old, like, magical looking castle in the distance, where it really is just like a village. And then you go into the the distillery, and you get to hear from the people that run it. And I forget his name. Oh, he's blonde. Anyway, him and his dad. He's at a lot of. I'm blanking. A lot of the different conventions and speaks a lot of the different ones. Nicholas. You get to see and hear their stories with Gary and how it came to be, and that is why we have, like, so going back to St. Mary's and how Gary smuggled the French lavender into his boot. You probably have heard this story before, but they did tell it to us while we were in France, and it's important because when Gary took the lavender back, he probably had no idea that this was going to happen. But in France, there was this bug disease that went through and killed almost all of the French lavender, which, as you know, French lavender is huge. And he had a relationship with some of the farm people over there. This was before we had our French farm over in Young Living. France. And they asked him to bring more lavender over, and that is why, like, part of our Young Living farms over in France produce such great lavender. And I'm sure they've shared it with different farms there, but we can say that we were part of, I don't want to say but part of the reason why the French lavender over in that region is still there. And over at Simeon La Rotonde, they also grow einkorn, or they did while we were there, and we got to experience the harvesting of the einkorn as well. So I definitely don't want to make this live all about me and my farm experiences, but I do think that it is something worth sharing, because I don't necessarily get to go on, and I don't get to have one-on-ones with all of you and tell you about my experiences with the Young Living farms. I made my list here, because I have 3 other farms that I want to talk to you about, because I've had the opportunity to go. And so my favorite farm, and this might be your favorite too if you've been there, is the farm in Ecuador. So it's in Guayaquil, Ecuador. You fly in, and you fly into the same airport that you would if you were going to go to the Galapagos Islands. And we had every intention of doing that while we were visiting, but we did not. I think the sun is a little bit better, so I can move. But you fly into Guayaquil, and you are put up in a hotel in the city. And Ecuador in and of itself is, I think it's obviously not like America. So it's got a lot more struggles, let's just say that. But you didn't feel unsafe. However, they do tell you, you just be cautious. So we got to go to the Young Living Experience Center while we were there, and it was cool because at the time, for those of you that remember this, at the time, this is when the whole, it was Peace and Calming, I believe it was. That was, like, it was the big thing that was like you wanted to get the like this original Bees and Calming. I think it was Bees and Calming, and you could only get like you could get it at the Ecuadorian store there. So a lot of us were like messaging our members like we've got some. You can. It was limited. Here, I'll bring it back to you. But it was kind of it was cool. I digress. So you get on a bus and they drive you into the countryside essentially of Guayaquil, and you drive past this old dilapidated building. It's kind of like on the corner, and it has some overgrowth, and they tell you this was the original Young Living Academy. And when you look at it, if you haven't seen pictures of it, go look online. You look at it and you think, really? This was the Young Living Academy? And you can picture yourself back in the time where, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, where Gary and Mary were in there with their love and support for these children. It's not a big building. It's not. But you can just see, like, when you see stuff like that, you also just know the heart of this company. It is like no other. So then you drive down even further, and that is where the Young Living Academy is. And we got to go and do a service project. We if help paint some of the classrooms and be with the kids. And it's so much bigger now since I've been. But if you have an opportunity to go to the Young Living Academy, I'm going to tell you to go, because it will change you. I'm getting goosebumps. It will change you. And you will have even more of a deeper love for this company. When they say people over profit, they mean it. They absolutely mean it. And when you see it for yourself at the Young Living Academy, it will never go away. And that is why, like, one of the reasons why I am so incredibly loyal and faithful to this company, because I know and I've seen their heart. Plus, their products are the absolute best on the market. All right, so down the road from the academy is the farm. I mean, it is my favorite farm. It is massive and gorgeous. And if you have the opportunity while you're there to experience a sunset, oh my goodness, over just all the trees. I remember Jessica Petty was at this, Jessica, if you're on this, Jessica Petty was on this tour, this walking tour, and we were doing it was for Palo Santo. And I will never forget that. I will never forget hearing about Palo Santo, because at the time I knew about Palo Santo, and yes, it's great oil, and yes, it smells good, but when you hear how Palo Santo comes to be, and how the native people in that area of Central America value it, it brings even more love for the oil. So Palo Santo, just real quick, has to die naturally, and it has to be dead for a certain number of years before they can distill it. So can you imagine that little bottle of Palo Santo that you have has been for a long time? It is amazing. It really is amazing. And so they have I never say it right, and so I'm not even going to try, but they have it's like a spa there. And you can go and get different IV treatments and different massage treatments, but that's where a lot of people will go to keep their wellness above the wellness line. So you can go there and you can experience it, and just like anybody else. All right, so Ecuador, my favorite farm. It is beautiful. Go if you have the opportunity. And for me, at the time, that was my platinum retreat, and I believe that is still the case. So 2 more farms that I've been to, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Nova Vida, yes, thank you, Nikki Flynn. Nova Vida is the name of the spa. So the Dalmatia farm in Croatia. We went to Croatia for one of the diamond retreats, and if I have time, I'm going to tell you a side story about that, because, okay. So we went and we started in Split, and you explore the city, and then you get on this ferry. Was it a ferry? We went to a couple of different places. But anyway, you go into the countryside, and it's gorgeous, by the way, just absolutely gorgeous. If you ever have the opportunity, I don't know if this is available anymore, but it was the Dalmatia collection that has three or four different oils that are from that region. But that is where our helichrysum is. And if you have no idea about helichrysum, I'm about to tell you, because on that trip, it solidified my love for helichrysum. It is a tiny little bottle. I don't have it here. And it isn't cheap, but let me tell you why it's not. Many of you know why rose oil is the price that it is, but helichrysum you may not know. So you go into this countryside to the helichrysum farm, and it's not gorgeous. And you pull up and you're like thinking, goodness, really? This is a farm? And then they start talking to you about the rocks and the little plants that are coming out of the rocks, which is helichrysum. So helichrysum grows out of rocks naturally. It's wildcrafted. And we have the little farm there. And you may have heard, if you've traveled to Europe or know anybody that is European or have skincare products that are European, it is called Immortelle in Europe. And when you know that, then you're hyper aware. It's like when you're looking for a car and you see that everywhere. It's the same thing. Like, you're going to start to see that in things. They put it in skincare for a reason. Helichrysum is the Mac Daddy for skin, for all things skin. But it has to grow out of the rock. It has to, kind of like wine. If you're familiar with wine, wine has to be, the vines have to suffer a little bit, and then the wine is great. Helichrysum has to suffer a little bit and grows out of rocks, and it is this tiny little bottle of magic. I will always tell every single person to keep a bottle of helichrysum in their pocket or their purse or their bag, because it will save you. But not only will it save you, it is incredible for your skin. So anyway, that's the helichrysum farm in the Dalmatia area. And then the last but not least is the Vida de Seville farm. That was my my last European diamond trip was in Spain. And we got to go to their partner farm there, and they have, Wendy, I just used it yesterday on a bloody head. Yes, I have a couple different stories about helichrysum magic, but I can save those for another day. The Vida de Seville farm, it's not a very big farm at all, and frankincense is there. I'm blanking on what else is there. Oh, not cypress. Darn it. Forgive me. If I think of it, I'm gonna put it here. But it was, it's a good one. So good, I forgot it. But it's not a very big farm. But you can go. You can watch how they distill things. You can talk to the managers. Sisters, thank you, Wendy. Sisters. If you don't, I did not know. And Wendy, you're on this. I did not know very much about cystis until that day, and after I learned about it, I'm like, I gotta always have cystis with me. We can talk about that privately. Anyway, or Wendy, if you want to put it in the comments, you can. But anyway, those are the farms that I've had the opportunity to go to so far, and I'm hoping that they will announce the next diamond trip, and it will be at one of these other farms that I haven't been to yet, because I want to go and I want to experience that and then come and teach you guys and tell you about all of the amazing practices that these farms take for our beautiful products. It's not just the products, you guys. Like, we use them and we love them. Like, I mean, they are wonderful, and most of us cannot be without them every single day. But when you go and experience a farm and you talk to the people that work there and you touch the earth, you see how things are distilled, it really solidifies it even more about how incredible these products are. And I will forever and ever always talk about the amazingness of these products. As a side note, I know there can be a lot of noise online that may speak differently to this. And I'm going to tell you right now that those people that are saying things, saying lies, are saying lies. They are absolute lies. And that can be this can be a conversation for another day, because I noticed that this is something that's happening a lot. But I want to reassure you that our products are the very best. The company is so extremely transparent. There's nothing to hide. We are financially stable. The people that run this company care about us and our products. And that's the truth. So, anyway, the farms are incredible. You can go and schedule. I put in the comments here how you can try to schedule. But if you go on the Young Living Farms site, scrolling all the way down to the bottom, there's a little area that says click here for the Young Living Farm tour and overnight stay request form. Click here to request to be a Young Living partner and oil source, which I can't imagine that you would want to do. Click here for global farm location and speaker requests. So if you go to younglivingfarmtours.com, you can go and schedule a tour. The Mona Farm, to my knowledge, is really open all the time. It does have visiting hours. But for the other ones, Young Living is transparent, and they want you to see that. They're proud, very proud of what they do and what they produce, and they want you to see it and experience it. So if you have a chance to do that, I'm going to highly encourage you to do that. And if you are pushing for those ranks of silver, gold, platinum, diamond plus, you will get the opportunity to go and visit the farms. Young Living will send you there, and let me tell you, it is worth not only the rank, but the trip. All right, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put them here in the comments. Myself or some of the other leaders that have experienced some of the amazing farms that Young Living has will be happy to answer your questions. I've taken up enough of your day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you back here in Spruce Society.